my heroes.
Dr. Diabetes?
Dr. Diabetes. Oh, that's amazing. You know, you got a free syringe.
Yes.
Down at the bottom. If you went down, you actually pricked yourself.
The hypoglycemic count.
I got to tell you, she's showing leadership here. I think she's doing it in the best way possible. I think the world ends up being healthier because of this initiative and other initiatives that follow. I really
libertarian. It shouldn't matter what intentions are.
Well, as long as it's not the government doing it. If it's the government doing it, the government is going to declare it criminal, and we're going to have ramifications.
Did you ever put extra sugar on Frosted Flakes?
All the time.
I did.
All the time. Sugar on rice.
When you were a child?
I was never enough.
I told my mom it was sugar. I was a hyper kid.
Last word to you,
I think Bill brought up a good point. They may stop selling advertising or airtime to these fast food companies, but I'd be shocked if Disney is going to stop selling their $10 sodas, their $8 hot dogs, or whatever other bad, unhealthy foods they're still going to make money off of this. So it's a little hypocritical.
By the way, those rides could be considered unhealthy. What if senior citizens decided to come out against that because they're too hard on their hearts?
Well, the Disney celery stand.
Watch the food manufacturers make healthier products.
Yeah. I hope not. All right, from Mickey Mouse to Mary Jane. Has the Big Apple changed its speed when it comes to all things weed? Well, Mayor Bloomberg, whoever that is, and the city's top prosecutors have endorsed a proposal to decriminalize possession of small amounts of marijuana. It's a big boost to Governor Andrew Cuomo, who's seeking to cut down on people arrested as a result of police stops. Last year, New York cops made about 50,000 arrests for low-level possession, most stemming from the city's controversial stop and frisk policy, which the mayor maintains has made the city much safer. On Monday, Governor Cuomo discussed complications that arise.
During the stop and frisk, the police officer says, "Turn out your pockets." The marijuana is now in public view. It just went from a violation to a crime. The effect of a criminal conviction on a young person can alter the trajectory of your entire life.
He truly is the most riveting public speaker since President Coolidge. So how's the pot-smoking robot community taking the news?
Yeah, I want to hitting you.
Yeah. I don't know. They didn't seem high to me. Governor, you released a statement endorsing Cuomo's proposal, but added that it doesn't really solve the problem.
Well, I've always advocated legalizing marijuana because decriminalizing turns its back on half the problem, which is the marketplace. Look, if they decriminalize pot, it just makes it, in my opinion, a lot easier for law enforcement to focus on those that are selling it. And if you look at the profile of individuals in federal prison today, the majority category are those that have sold small amounts of drugs on numerous occasions and been caught.
True.
Mandatory sentencing. So, positive step, but legalize it, and let's tax it, let's regulate it.
That'll put you out of business, Remy, because all your clients are criminals.
No, that's not true. I think we can all agree there's a big difference between a college student who gets caught with a little bit of marijuana in the park one day and the person who's traveling around the world putting people in danger, getting all the drugs and distributing them throughout the country.
But if it's legal, then that comes off the black market and it's no longer a problem.
I'm all
the
for
problem is created by it being illegal to
Look,
sell.
I'm all for decriminalizing small drug possession. Absolutely.
How about big drug possession?
But I think it's going to be a long time before we see that.
Why?
Because for so many reasons. But the primary reason is...
The only person I know who doesn't smoke pot is me. I'm the only one I know.
I don't smoke it. I don't smoke. It makes me paranoid. I'll go to the hospital.
How do you know that?
Because I smoked it.
Exactly.
About an hour ago. I need you to drive me to the hospital.
Okay, right now.
I think it's a very positive first step in this process to decriminalize drugs, because the amount of time and resources it takes law enforcement and prosecutors and our judiciary to prosecute these really petty thefts that, as Governor Cuomo said, can really affect a good person's life. It can change the direction of their life.
Yes, if Obama had been busted, he wouldn't be president.
Yeah.
It certainly didn't help his life.
Yeah.
It's true.
There's a formula to the news, too, where every night we have the largest drug bust, and then we go from the largest drug bust to the Kingpin headquarters, which is a double-wide trailer. There is a formula, and it's crazy.
You know what's crazy is when you talk to people in law enforcement, the people that deal with this every day, they agree. I mean, I don't know
Who is against it?
I think, you know what it is? It's a generational thing, and I think politicians are afraid to lose votes because there's like people in their 60s and 70s who go, not on my watch, you know, I saw what those kids did on the Happy Juice back in the 70s. I saw the movies they made.
We're at a tipping point with this issue, and the tipping point's going to be Colorado, I think. It's on the ballot in Colorado. It's to regulate marijuana like alcohol.
Yeah.
Colorado, highest percentage of pot smokers on a per capita basis of any state in the country.
Is that true?
Yeah, and 6 years ago they voted to decriminalize marijuana in Denver on a campaign based on marijuana being safer than alcohol. So I think that Colorado might actually be the tipping point, and I say tipping point. First domino, 50 dominoes to fall.
Yeah.
Now, but can't the federal government override that, like they're doing in California?
They sure can, but that was the downfall of when it came to the prohibition of alcohol. My understanding is that New York said, hey, we're not going to enforce federal alcohol prohibition anymore. If you want to do it, you can. Well, they can. I think that'll be the same phenomenon.
Well, that would be cool.
Bill, you don't have any opinion on the whole drug legalization thing.
No, you can just skip me right now.
See how he moves it? It's much better. He has a touch.
As you can see, our graphics department also endorses smoking weed, hence this. Well, getting back to what Remy was saying, last year, of the 6,000 possession arrests in Manhattan, half of them were the first time they'd ever been arrested. So basically, you probably got someone as innocuous as a 40-year-old aunt going to Sister Act. She thought she'd make it a little more interesting right beforehand, and someone busts her, and now it's on a permanent record. That is crazy.
But the other crazy thing, I will say this: I know that some people are going to disagree with me. I do not believe I don't believe in the Trojan horse that is the medical marijuana thing.
Nor do I. I think that you should
right,
tell
I
the
agree.
truth.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100 million Americans have smoked pot, but for the wrong set of circumstances, and I'm one of them. And we're all behind bars. And
Except me. Wouldn't that be cool? Everyone in prison except Pat.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's the world I want to live
And something
in.
tells me you're the sickest person of all.
But the other thing is, and this isn't said enough, we can't even keep drugs out of prison.
Yeah.
So no matter how draconian a system you have, there's still drugs in prison. So even if we lived all in the prison system, there'd still be drugs all over the place. You can't fight it.
See, that's the upside of going to prison, Bill. I've been telling you this.
Nah, the only drug I ever got in prison was a roofie.
Oh.
And you know the good thing in prison, you'd be able to practice your ventriloquism.
I know, but something tells me he would be the puppet. That was kind of obvious. All right, we got to move on. Coming up, can most murderers be cured with nothing more than a good hug? Defense attorney Remy Spencer discusses her groundbreaking new book, I Heart Murderers, after the break. But first, what weird thing did this coach say about his hiring practices? I don't know, but it sounds weird.